When you purchase a PL2022A lift, PL stands for Podium or Pulpit. This is what comes in the package. There's a control box for the lifting actuator, an AC power cord. It has a type A plug. This is the motor cable. This is the desk panel for programming the lift here. Special Cat 5 cable. The lifting actuator itself, a 3-stage actuator. The cord may come like this, but this little adapter needs to be pushed down, and then the cord needs to be plugged in to that groove, like so. In case my hand was in the way, that's the little adapter right there. It has a flat side on it right there. That needs to go down. This needs to go in here like that. There's a base plate. There's 4 what we refer to as web plates. This is a top plate. There are 12 cross dowel nuts. There are 8 M6 flathead screws. A relay base, a relay cover, the 2 relays for interfacing with an external control, 2 end stops, a piece of DIN rail, 4 1/4 by half button head screws, these 2 mounting brackets, 12, total of 12 1/4-inch hex head bolts with washers, 4 1/4-inch lag bolts for screwing the base plate down to the cabinet floor, and 4 GRK cabinet screws for attaching the wooden sleeve or neck of the lift to these mounting brackets. Alright, so to do an installation, you're going to need some tools. I recommend you have some painter's tape. I'll show you why later. You need a 7/16 socket. You need a small flathead screwdriver, a number 2 Phillips, Torx 15 for the GRK screws. That one right there comes in the box of GRK screws, but you don't get a box. If you were to purchase a box, you would have that, but when you only get the kit, that's not included. You need a 5/32 Allen, 4mm Allen. You may need a stubby Phillips bit, a thumb ratchet, and an adapter to go from the 1/4-inch square ratchet to 1/4-inch hex. This will get you into screws in the back of a existing cabinet if you're doing an upgrade. Also a 1/4-inch ratchet. This adapter fits on the 1/4-inch ratchet, and handy dandily, those go in there. So that's what I have in my kit. Now there's no reason you couldn't just have a standard metric and inch Allen and a flathead 7/16, and that's what the box of GRK screws looks like if you were to purchase it at the hardware store. Alright, so we're going to put this lift together. Just to review, all of this between the blue tape comes in your box when you purchase a PL2022A. Okay, so we're going to put this PL2022A together. The first thing I'm going to start with is 4 of the M6 screws, the M4 ratchet wrench, helps to put it up to the edge of the table. Now on this plate, the top edge is rounded. The top edge is rounded, the bottom edge is square. The bottom has these flat holes in it. There are 4 threaded holes on the bottom of the lift. I suggest you start all the screws and then snug them down. Notice that I put the motor cable up like this towards the front of the lift. You can see that there. Alright, next we're going to install the relay base plate. The relay base plate has 2 holes in the bottom and 2 pressed in nuts in this face. So we're going to put that down here to align with these 2 holes. On top of that, we're going to put the DIN rail bracket. And then we're going to take 2 1/4 button head screws. We need the 5/32 Allen wrench for that. Okay, so now that's mounted there. Now we're going to take one of these end plates and stops. We're going to hook it on the DIN rail. There's a hook on this end and a nut on this end. Hook it on the DIN rail. Use a straight screwdriver and tighten the screw. That screw is at an angle like this. Okay, now we're going to take one of the 2 relays. This has the down arrow on it. This one has the up arrow on it, and the C is for common. These have spring-loaded feet on the bottom of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook this on, push it this way, and then clip it over the DIN rail. So hook it on, push on it until it clips over the DIN rail. Then do the same with the next one, like that. Then take the other end plate, put it on this end, and tighten the screw. Okay, so that's done. Now you can take the special Cat 5 cable. Red and blue are down, green and white are up. When it comes, all the holes that you're not supposed to use are already tightened down. So the other holes that are open are the ones these go in. That works best with the number 2 Phillips. Put the middle row in first and snug it, tighten it down good. Then put the top row in. So the top row is number 24. And the middle row is 21. Those are the ones that you use, 24 and 21, 24 and 21. Now you can take the relay cover, put your screws in, loose, then take the cover, and it's got keyhole slots. Just drop it over there like that, and you can tighten it up. One thing I'll point out, oops. One thing I'll point out is that these relays have lights on this side, so when your external control is running these lights will show that they're getting signal. You have to put in 24 volts DC. There is a manual override lever right here, this little orange lever, that you can lift up and manually run the lift with those for testing. Okay, we'll set this aside for right now. So these webs are all identical, and they connect together by these slots, like so. Just like that. Now these holes are for cross dowel nuts, like this. So they have a slot that lines up with the hole, so you know how to put it in. You just slide it in the hole like that. Now in this case we're going to do the top of the lift, so just the center holes, not these outside holes. Just like that. This is the top plate. The top plate is round on the top and square on the bottom. The flat head or the countersunk holes go up. Then you take your 1/4 inch screws, put in the 8 holes around the outside. You can finger tighten them. If they won't go in, you use a screwdriver, to help you orient the hole in the cross dowel nut. Just snug these up for right now. Flip it over. The holes here are where these brackets mount. The holes in here are for when you need to cut the web down to fit a smaller neck, like this 6.5 or 6 1/4 inch ID necks. You can trim it to size. Again, we need cross dowel nuts. slot out. So slot here, slot here. Finger tight. Cross dowel nut with the slot out. Quarter 20 screws. Finger tight. Like so. Okay. Now we bring the lifting column, slide the web assembly down over it. Grab 4 flathead M6s. These use the 4mm ratchet or hex, 4mm hex. Put these in loose till all 4 of them are in, and then tighten them up. Just snug, don't overdo it. Okay. Now tighten the hex heads. Again, don't overdo it, just snug them up. All right, so there's the lift column assembly. So there's the lift assembly. It's got the Cat 5 cable. Now we're gonna plug in the control. So the control has a special motor cable, an extension cable that plugs in. This goes in, so there's a port here and 2 RJ45 ports. There's also a port here. This port says number 2 on the top. Don't use this port. Use number 1. And then the Cat 5 cable can go in either A1 or A2. And then the power cable goes in this end. Now I'm plugged in. Now the desk panel can plug into whichever other port is available. Now the first thing you got to do is zero the lift. So to zero the lift, you do down, up, down, and when you hold the down button, it zeroes itself. But it's down, up, down, and then hold, and it'll zero itself. Now you can use that button to run the lift. And once it gets up 12 inches, it's going to stop. Now you want to press S for store and hold it, and then press the number 1 and let go. This is the programmable upper limit. Maybe you don't need to use 12 inches of stroke. Maybe you only need to use 10 inches. Well, you'll press S and 1 at that point, and now the lift will only go up to that stored point. That's a programmable stop. The relays use the programmable stop. These relays are like pushing button number 1. All right. Once the neck is on here, you want to push these in so they're snug. And then you want to tighten these screws down here at the bottom of the lift with your wrench. And then you'll put a couple grabber screws in each side. You can use the outside holes, whatever holes you want to use. You'll put these GRK screws in here. It doesn't matter what holes you use, but make sure you put them in this side and in this side. So one of the things I do when mounting, I mount this to the wall of the cabinet, but I run the cords in these channels. But you can see how that cord doesn't want to stay in there. So just take a piece of blue painter's tape, a couple of them, or one long strip, whatever. Come here. And put over this slot with the cord in it, like that. So now this cord can't move. Like so. Now the power cord can come up and loop around here. All of the cords are restrained when this gets mounted with a couple of screws to the wall of the cabinet. No one can run off with any of the cords.